Hi, I'm Jazz Obrecht, and welcome to my Talking Guitar podcast featuring a very early interview with the late Robbin Crosby of Ratt. At the time of our conversation, Ratt had recently released their first full-length album called Out of the Cellar, and their hit song Round and Round was gaining heavy play on radio and MTV. I also spoke with Robbin's co-guitarist in Ratt, Warren DeMartini, just before I spoke with Robbin, and you can hear this interview on YouTube as well. Combined, these conversations provide a lot of insight into how Ratt came together, how they approached making their first records, how Robbin and Warren divvied up specific guitar parts, and the instruments and other gear they used. Robbin also talks about his love of the soulful solo. These interviews were used for my introductory profile of Ratt in the August 1984 issue of Guitar Player magazine. By the way, if you haven't already heard them, I invite you to check out my longer 1988 interviews with Robbin and Warren. The links for these are in the write-up below. I hope you enjoy this rare, never-before-heard interview with Robbin Crosby.
Hello.
Hi, Robbin.
How you doing?
Fine. How are you?
Good.
I'm calling from Guitar Player magazine.
Right, that's what I understand.
You familiar with us?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Nik Warren. I've been reading it since childhood.
Great. Could you give me a little overview of your background? Like how old you are and when you started playing and stuff?
Yeah, well, I'll be 24 in August. I've probably been playing for about 10 years now. Yeah. So I started when I was really young, and then I got into sports, and I didn't even pick it up for years, so it's kind of hard to put a time on it, you know.
So you got back to it when you were about 14 or so?
Yeah. No, that's when I really started to play seriously. And then, I had my first band when I was about 15, play all the dances and stuff. As far as people influences, and I don't know what Warren told you, but Jimi Hendrix and like Billy Gibbons have probably been the biggest for me. Like he was trying to explain the difference between our styles, that would probably give you an indication where he's more like a Van Halen, Uller Croft type. You know what I mean? So I'd say I'm more of a sort of a blues style, maybe.
You're more blues based?
Yeah, I think that. Not that he can't play the blues.
Yeah, but are you playing your favorite kind of music right now?
Absolutely.
Is what you play by yourself the same as what you do on stage?
Yeah.
It is. Now you were in the original lineup of Ratt, huh?
Uh-huh.
When was that? That was in San Diego?
Well, in San Diego, there was a different band. It wasn't called Ratt, but Steven was the front man.
Is that the band with Jake E. Lee?
No, that wasn't until L.A. either.
Okay, so maybe it'd help if you could give me the chronology of what happened when.
Okay, well, like I said, in San Diego, Steven had a band that was a different group, and he moved them up to L.A.
What year did the band start?
That was in about 1979.
What was it called? What was it? Do you know the name?
Oh, yeah, they were called Mickey Ratt.
What was that?
Mickey Ratt.
Mickey Ratt?
Yeah.
Is that one word or two?
Two, just like Mickey Mouse. And then that died, and he had another lineup, and then they changed that to Ratt at that point.
What's this? What year is this now?
That was about 81, and then about another 6 months later, Jake joined the band and played in it for about a year, I think. And then I joined the band when the other guitar player that was in the group left with the drummer, and played a couple shows with Jake, and then he went to do the Ronnie Dio, I guess, and he ended up playing with Rough Cut for a while, and hence the Ozzy gig. But ever since then, since Jake left, Warren Warren's been in, and it's been the same line. Well, actually, we went through a couple drummers and a couple bass players real early, first few months, but other than that, ever since then, it's been the same lineup with Bobby and Warren and myself and Steven.
So you played more solos on the EP than on the LP?
Not really. I did 2.5 solos on the EP, and we do a few double leads on the album, and I do a couple half solos and a couple whole solos. You know?
Could you spell out a couple of what they are so somebody with the record can pick out who's who?
Yeah, let's see. In Wanted Man, on the EP or the album?
On the album.
In Wanted Man, Warren does the first thing.
Yeah.
And then when it changes keys and it drops down to E, that's where I come in.
Uh-huh.
And then, let's see, on that side, it goes You're in Trouble. And then Round and Round, of course, we do the double lead after Warren does his solo.
That's with the double, you wang at the same time? And
Yeah, that's a real pretty thing. And then,
yeah, that's cool.
Let's see what's next.
In your direction?
That's Warren, and then I do She Wants Money. I was never wild about that solo, but the producer talked me into it. It's all right. It's one of those things that when I hear it, you know, I think, oh shit, I could have done this there. And then on the other side, I do like a Communication.
The whole solo there?
Yeah, all of that stuff, and then
Back for More.
at the end.
You do the 12-string in that too,
Yeah.
right? The acoustic
I do
guitar?
the acoustics. And the next tune, what's that?
Morning After.
The Morning After, Warren does a great lead, and then we do the little harmony climb. That's both of us. And then I'm Insane, he does the solo in A, and I make all the noise when it drops down into E. It's just a bunch of wang bar garbage. And next is Scene of the Crime, and I do the solo in that. And he, like he said, he does that little double guitar interlude. He did that himself.
Do you guys inspire each other, do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. In the old days, like we sort of grew up together, and I think he used to look up to me a long time ago, and nowadays, he's so hot. He gives me a lot of inspiration to play. But lately, it's been sort of strange because, like you said, I don't want to sound like him, or vice versa. I've been trying to sort of work on a different style so that maybe we don't sound identical,
Yeah.
I've been trying lately. I mean, even on the album, I didn't play as fast and stuff. I was super into the ZZ Top Eliminator album at the time, and it really, right at that time, it sort of, I was playing like that, it seemed like.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, I love it. It's just that now I think I'm going to try and take that even further and get away from, let him do all the, like he said, the sort of school type stuff. I just really like that sort of Jimmy style. It's more me,
Jimi Hendrix type?
Yeah, absolutely.
What aspect of that style do you mean? I think of Jimmy, I think of just such a broad range of stuff.
Well, like the way Billy Gibbons plays, to me it's like living Hendrix sometimes,
It seems like his solos, especially on Eliminator, are just coming right out of the chords, too.
Yeah, well, Eliminator isn't as Jimmy as some of the other albums, I think. I just, describe it, I don't know, just sort of that real true vibrato and super soulful feel,
Could you detail your equipment setup for me?
Right now, I'm using, let's see, well, I've got 2 Laney 100-watt heads, and I got a 100-watt Marshall, and I'm using 2 bottoms with 80-watt Celestins in them right now, and I don't know whether I like them or not, to tell you the truth, because I just sort of picked them up for the tour. I'd like to use EVs, I think, but then again, I don't want to sound too close to Warren.
What kind of bottoms is Warren using?
He's got a couple orange bottoms, those old, real birch plywood.
Yeah, right.
Good cabinets. He bought them from me about 5 years ago. They're great cabs, though, and they're good for a speaker like EVs because they're real motherfuckers, you know.
What kind of speakers in them?
He's got EVs.
Oh, I'm sorry.
EVMs.
Okay.
And I use a PCM, Lexicon PCM 41 in stereo between 2 amps into, so it's one side is dry.
Yeah.
And one is effect, and the combination is really monstrous.
Do you have any other effects devices?
I use a Echo Box and an overdrive.
The overdrive for when you play a solo?
Sometimes I use it for chords too, when I'm looking for some real heavy sustain or something, if we're just holding out a note. But I don't leave it on all the time. Sometimes I use a Furman parametric equalizer. Right now I'm not, but I might get back into it.
What's your guitar?
I play a Jackson.
What kind?
Well, it's a Flying V that I sort of designed with Grover. Just fancied up, sort of like a double Randy Rhoads, but it's a lot bigger. I'm a real big guy, so I'm sort of looking for something big.
How tall are you?
6'5".
Wow.
So I even dwarf a regular Flying V, which is what I've always played over the years. I've always had Flying Vs. I just thought, well, let's try out something different, a little bit bigger. It's got real big necks. They got ebony fingerboards.
What do you...
Pearl inlay.
A pearl inlay?
Yeah.
Where are the pickups?
I got fine-tuned Floyd Rose's black chrome on both of them. And I'm using Alan Holdsworth pickups in the treble position, the Seymour Duncans right now. Those are the ones with the double screw, like one-sided. On both sides of the bobbins, there's screws.
Are that the one Grover makes?
No, that's a Seymour Duncan.
Oh, I see.
Special pickup, though. He gets them, and I just happened to be there. He got a shipment of them. I said, well, throw those in my new guitars. And I think I really like them. They're quite a bit like the Seymour JB model, though, I think. I think they're a little bit warmer sounding, sort of more bluesy sounding in a way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
A little bit more nasal, whereas the JB is like maybe a little treblier pickup.
Do you have a pretty big hand?
No, it's funny. Warren's got a bigger hand than I do, but I'm 5 inches taller than he is.
6'5". You must be just about the tallest guy in rock.
Just about, I figure, yeah. That's why they call me the King.
The King?
Yeah, Warren's hands are a lot bigger than mine. If you hold them up to each other, I attribute that to his speed, I guess.
Wow. Well, what do you think about being on the road? Is it everything you imagined it might be?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, it's just about like I pictured it. You know?
Yeah.
It's funny because we've all sort of been waiting all our lives to do this in a way, so it's like even the bad parts, it still seems good, and maybe that's just the novelty of it being new to us, I don't know.
Yeah. What's the advantages and disadvantages of having 2 guitar players in a band like Ratt?
Well, I don't think we've ever really, for me, there isn't a disadvantage. Because the way, especially the way Steven and I write, and Warren, I think, too, it works pretty well with 2 guitars. I'm not really much for 3-man bands anyway, and I don't like keyboards, so.
Do you ever have difficulty determining which guy's going to play what part?
We've never really had that problem yet. I don't really think it will become a problem because it's pretty apparent to both of us, I think, when something fits one guy or the other. And sometimes, like he said, we try it, and if it doesn't work, then the other guy takes over. But I think in the future we'll be doing more intricate things rather than just sort of playing the same rhythm over each other, you know what I mean? I think like the next album will be more, I think we'll utilize the 2-guitar factor a lot more on the next album.
The part where you do the dual wang and round's real good.
Yeah, I like that.
Is it hard to sync that stuff up?
No,
How do you go about doing it?
Once we figure out the chops, just, you know.
Do you run through it a few times and then go in and cut it?
Yeah. No, that wasn't a problem at all. And we cut that song twice because we did it as a demo. The first time, I think that it was, you know, it showed us what we wanted to do.
How did you happen to score the video?
Score?
Or, you know, how did that come about?
You mean Milton or just the whole video?
The video, the fact that, you know, a lot of bands are really trying to make it, and there's a lot of new albums coming up. It seems like the ones that get the videos on MTV and the other stations are the ones that can really skyrocket.
Right.
You
well,
know?
It was part of our contract with the record company that they were going to do a video. So pretty much as soon as they figured out what song that they wanted to be the single, we went ahead and shot it. And we're sort of pending right now on the next single. We were going to shoot a Wanted Man in Texas on the 17th this month, but they held off because they decided Round and Round was just taking off. And they're not sure what the next single will be, but as soon as they figure it out, I'm sure we'll be shooting another one in the next month or so.
Wanted Man seems like the logical choice.
Yeah, it sure does. I mean, it sets up such good imagery for the video. It's ideal.
It's a good driving song, too.
You know, I'm not sure that really is the best single, though, off the album. I used to push for it because it was sort of heavy as compared to Round and Round, would maybe give people a broader spectrum, you know, of what we're really all about. But we're doing so well with Round and Round, I'm thinking maybe we should go with something like Back for More that's real melodic. You know, gotta stick with whatever works.
There you go.
I like You're in Trouble has been my favorite cut from the start, but what do I know?
Which has been You're in Trouble?
Yeah, and I like The Morning After, too. That guitar solo is gnarly.
Is there a difference between your live and your studio playing?
Yeah, definitely. For me, more so than Warren, I think. I play more live than I did, especially on this album. It was really less is more when I was in there this time. I'm a bit wilder, I think, live.
Are there any things you're working on as far as new techniques or different approaches?
Well, like I said, I think right now, trying to get a real good feel for myself, you know, and get away from maybe the similarities in Warren than my playing. I don't know if you notice any similarities.
Oh, definitely.
You know, sometimes it's funny because he really is a lot faster than I am, you know.
Uh-huh.
He's got a much better right hand, too. He's a real picker, whereas I'm sort of a slow hand style. And I want to expand on that because, you know, for my money's worth and for my playing, that's what I like I said. So I think on the next album I'll be doing more soulful solos.
Great.
You know, that's what I've always done best in demo tapes and stuff in the past with other bands or whatever. Got a real good sense for a nice, clean, melodic solo. You know?
Yeah.
Warren has a good sense for a big flurry of notes.
That could work very well.
I think that's what turns people on to us is the fact that he can blow their minds out and do the full Guitar Hero, you know, speed trip, and then I've got, you know, anything that he doesn't do, I pretty much cover. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So we got the whole ballpark pretty well covered here for guitar players. Definitely.
What are your goals as far as personal things?
Personally?
What do you hope to accomplish?
Outside the band?
Or within the band? What would you like to see yourself, you know, in a few years or whatever?
Well, first of all, I like to think that we're building an empire for an international supergroup here. That's my goal. You know, I'd like nothing more than to be entirely successful with this band and take it all the way, like, you know, Aerosmith or Led Zeppelin. You know, a lot of albums and a lot of fans, and maybe a little bit of new direction somewhere down the road.
Well, thanks. That's pretty much what I want to cover for this little article.
I understand this is sort of a sampler.
Yeah, this is just going to be like a 1 or 2 page piece to introduce the band, and then maybe with the next album we can do something bigger.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're trying to introduce people to more and more acts in the magazine, and so we watched your video, and it just seemed like a great place. It seemed like a good time to just try to turn people on to who you are.
Well, great. Thank you very much. I'm sure it'll help us out a little too.
Okay, Robin. Well, thanks.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. We look forward to seeing. Where are you, in New York?
No, I'm in San Francisco area.
Oh.
Yeah. So I'll see you when you come through.
I'm sure you will. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
This concludes my May 9th, 1984 interview with Robbin Crosby. I hope you enjoyed it. I invite you to give a listen to my 1988 interviews with Warren and Robbin. And if you're into the 80s guitar, there are a lot more interviews on my YouTube Talking Guitar channel, so check it out. Before signing off, I want to thank my producer and engineer Nik Hunt and the great people at the University of North Carolina's Southern Folklife Collection who digitized all of my interviews and made them available so I could put them on YouTube. Thanks for listening, and I hope to see you next time.